My name is George Carter. I was previously Managing Director at Nikko Asset Management, a role I had for 7 years. It was about 3 years ago that Tear Fund ran an event raising awareness of modern slavery and human trafficking, and it opened my eyes to a world that I had been pretty blind to. A lawyer had come down from Thailand, her name was Pick, and she was talking about the work that she was doing prosecuting those involved in the trafficking trade. And not only was she prosecuting them and taking them through the law courts, working with the authorities, but also putting systems in place to provide compensation for and support for the victims so that the cycle didn't get repeated. And I was absolutely blown away by the commitment that she had to this work, but also the lack of resource that she had to work with. And so I said, what can be done? What are the things that are needing to happen to try and alleviate this issue? And it comes down to a stream of funding that can enable more work to be done by lawyers in Thailand. And so the Freedom Fund was a result of thinking about how can we solve that problem. The Freedom Fund was and remains cutting edge. There's nothing quite like it in New Zealand. The premise is that there is capital to be put to use from which we can generate an income stream. So think about putting money to invest in bonds or cash, and that generates an investment return. And what the Freedom Fund's doing is it's saying, can we use your capital to generate an income stream, and that income stream, instead of going back to the investor, goes to the charity. It goes through Tear Fund for the work of dealing with slavery and trafficking. The Freedom Fund's unique point is that all of the returns and all of the fees, everything goes straight through to charity. With roughly $500,000 in the fund, we should be generating about $2,000 per month to be able to gift into Tear Fund's work against trafficking and slavery. Now there'll be some wobbles up and down as there are in investment markets over time. I think that we can do an awful lot more, and so we can leverage the infrastructure that's in place, I think tenfold. I think we can realistically aim for a $5 million fund, and instead of that being $2,000 a month, that's now $20,000 a month, and you can just see what kind of difference that makes to have that cash flow available for this important work. I think that modern slavery and trafficking, it's not overstating it to say that this is an evil within our world that is still far too prevalent. Helping deal with the issues around trafficking and slavery, that's not in our breadbasket of skill sets. And so we wanted to look at who out there has got the skills and the gifts and the talents to use the financial resources to make change and to assist in the world of trafficking and slavery. And you look at the work that's being done through Tear Fund and likes of Lift International, who are one of their sub-partners, and they're recognised by governments around the world for the work that's being done. They're recognised for the good and the change that they're operating in this way. And so we say, okay, we'll use our skills in what we can do, and then we're going to hand this over and partner with people who've got skills in other areas to do what they do. And between us, we can do this. Part of this is about just raising awareness to say this is a part of society that we should not be okay with, and it needs to change. We need to raise awareness individually, corporately, globally, to bring about change. And the work that Tear Fund are doing and Lift are doing is helping to bring about that change. And we want to be a part of that.